It's Thursday the 4th of June 2026. I'm in Osaka, Japan, and it's just after 9:30 in the morning. I'm just going to take a brief wander around the Nakazaki area of Osaka. This is my second visit to Osaka. I was here very briefly for around 10 or 11 hours back in 2024 on my first visit to Japan, and I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of the place, although obviously I was only here for 11 hours, so I just came in, did a quick hit list of the main sites, the castle, the Dotonabori area, and went back to Kyoto. So this place, this little area of the city, has actually changed my view of Osaka. I came across it yesterday and really liked it. Lots of nice little cafes, coffee shops, small craft boutique shops, I suppose you'd call them, but a really nice atmosphere and a nice place to hang out for a few hours. It's certainly not a hidden gem. As the day goes on, you'll see more and more white and western faces here, so I'm not claiming I've discovered some new area, but yeah, a really nice area of the city to pass a few hours in. And I'm just going to take a little wander around it now while it's still relatively quiet. So this is my last full day in Japan for this trip. Obviously, as whenever I've been to Japan, well, the twice I've been to Japan previously, I'm already thinking about when I'm coming back, and hopefully I will be before too long. So the whole plan was, just going to wander down here, this looks like a nice little area. My whole plan for Osaka the last couple of days of my trip was just to relax, drink coffee and do some shopping. Got to replenish my wardrobe at bargain rates compared to home, and I've managed to do that, thankfully. The one thing I've probably got a little bit wrong on this trip has been the pacing of the trip, although it wasn't entirely my own fault. After I left Kobe on Tuesday, my plan for leaving Kobe was to get to Osaka via some kind of adventurous route. So I had a couple of train trips planned out that I was going to consider, one which involved going on to Shikoku Island, and another one which involved going up into the countryside towards the foot of the Japanese Alps in Suruga. But there was unfortunately a typhoon warning for Tuesday and Wednesday, and yeah, the weather didn't really play ball. Although it turned out to not be as bad as feared. I think it ended up getting downgraded to a tropical storm by the time it hit Japan. There was a bit of a risk of being left stranded somewhere remote in the countryside, or potentially even cut off if I'd gone onto the island, which is where they were expecting a lot of the storm to hit. So I decided in the end that I wouldn't risk that, wouldn't go out into any rural areas, and I just moved from Kobe to here in Osaka, although I did pop over to Kyoto and have lunch, pop into the Traveller's Notebook shop, spend some money on fancy stationery, and have a coffee in a coffee place I enjoyed the last time I was there. Talking of coffee, this is where I'll be going soon. Really nice little coffee shop. I don't film inside places, so I won't show it, but definitely recommend Yacht Coffee if you're ever in the area. So yeah, so the pacing's wrong because I've ended up really my last 5 full days from getting to Kobe on Sunday have just been in the city, in cities, mooching around, drinking coffee, and there's nothing wrong with that as such, but I would just have liked to have mixed it up a little bit more with a bit more of adventure. So in the first half of my trip, I've followed a couple of hiking trails, gone up a couple of mountains, got out of the cities a little bit, whereas the end of the trip has ended up being in just two cities, just doing the latter, which ultimately I am holiday, so it's not the end of the world. Kobe is not somewhere that's got lots and lots of tourist sites as such, but I would say the night skyline is probably the most spectacular that I've seen anywhere, from the waterfront with some stunningly lit up buildings at night, and you can take a cable car or ropeway as they call them here up a mountain just outside the city, as well to a herb garden. There's some waterfalls, and you can again see some stunning sights over the city lit up at night. So the waterfront and that cable car in Kobe were pretty much the only real two big tourist attractions. But when I was there, again found some nice coffee spots, nice park. So got plenty of reading done, got plenty of relaxing done. It was quite nice actually. On my second day, I revisited one of the coffee shops I visited on the first day, and I've never been anywhere that's been so genuinely happy, or seemed so genuinely happy to have a return customer. The first thing they said when I walked in was, "Oh, you came here yesterday, you must like our coffee, thank you so much." So that was quite nice. But yeah, but there were a few places, although a couple of the places were surprisingly expensive. And there is definitely a noticeable step up in prices in this part compared to Hiroshima and Fukuoka in terms of coffees anyway. Very much not too dissimilar to the prices you pay back in Europe, but still, given how much value you get from everything else, then can't complain too much. But yeah, it's been my third trip to Japan, and I just really love travelling here. The convenience of everything, it's so easy, it's intuitive. The value at the moment with the value of the yen, which obviously isn't good for Japanese people, but it's good for tourists. Makes everything a bargain. I've completely replenished my wardrobe, although I'm a bit concerned about how everything's going to fit into the one bag that I've got, so that's a task for tonight. And much needed given the change in my clothes size, let's say, of the last few months. I'm also much happier to be buying men's clothes in Japan where I can fit into size medium. Really haven't liked buying size small clothes back in the UK. Doesn't feel very 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 manly, but that's just a hang up that I will have to get over. Or I could just always just keep coming back to Japan a couple of times a year when I need to replace my wardrobe. But yeah, so the plan for the rest of the day is more relaxing. There are a couple of sites that I will probably check off, for the want of a better expression, before the end of the day. There's a shrine in the south of the city which has got it's called the Lion's Head Shrine, so that sounds interesting. I think that's around the entrance to it. And also there's a couple of viewpoints. And on one of the big shopping malls in the city, there's been converted into a green space, so I'll probably buy some lunch and take that up there to eat it, after I've probably potted around here for a while and tried a couple more coffee shops. But yeah, really do enjoy this area. So if I ever do find my way back to Osaka, and sometimes the flights here are better than flights to Tokyo price-wise, then probably base myself around here again. Spend a day or two just easing in. I think there's one other place I'm going to walk past before I finish up this little video, and that's a pizza place I found yesterday. When I walked past it, I was surprised by the name, Hughes Pizza, as in Hughes, as in something like Mark Hughes, rather than Hugh. And I've not been eating pizza much recently, so I thought, go on, treat yourself, have a pizza. Went in, and well worth the wait for that to be my first pizza for quite some time. Oh, here it is up here, and it's actually run by an English bloke. Chatted to him briefly, not too much. We'd just taken a delivery of baked beans, but apparently Heinz baked beans are getting too expensive now, so they're from Malaysia. I don't think I'll come back and try them out because there's a couple of other eating places I'd like to try. And I don't think eating pizza and baked beans is really a good use of my time. And I think if I just walk back onto here, there's a few more specialty coffee shops. I really should try a couple of different ones than the ones I tried yesterday, but I did really like the two that I drank around here yesterday. So it'll be hard not to just go back to them. There was somewhere that I'd read that was recommended, but when I got there, it was full of loud Australians, and yeah, it wasn't for me. It's kind of made me wonder why I booked to go to Australia in the summer, given how much they grate on me, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But yeah, I'll just loop back down here. I'm just sort of killing time a bit because it's only 10:15 and coffee shops. One of the few things that frustrate me about Japan is that a lot of coffee shops and bakeries don't open until 10, 11, sometimes even later. And sometimes if you want a coffee at 7, like I often do, you're pretty stuck with Starbucks. So unfortunately I've been to Starbucks a couple of times for my sins. But anyway, yeah, Osaka coffee, I think I'll try this one out later, the one I didn't go to yesterday. Again, still waiting for it to open up. And if I can remember correctly, from here 24 hours ago, another nice looking spot here. Do like these little buildings and the small cafes. Ah yes, and the one down here. That I really liked yesterday, on the right side as I walked down. Pauhana Coffee. That was the second place I found yesterday. I actually ended up having a coffee here and a chat with somebody who we were just both entering at the same time, and ended up sitting and chatting with her for about 45 minutes, and I was exhausted afterwards. I definitely don't have much of a social battery anymore. But anyway, this was the place. So yeah, so I'll end that there. But yeah, really do like this area. Lots of nice little shops, cafes, boutiques. Definitely a little area of Osaka I'd recommend visiting.